Hello, this video is not sponsored. I bought this JMBricklayer brand Royal Fleet ship, which normally retails for $150 US on their website or on Amazon. However, I paid $120 for it because that was the price on their website at the time, and it still is, and usually they have discounts. But for the sake of fairness, I'm going to continue to refer to its retail price of $150 for 3,162 pieces. Now, this actually is not a JMBricklayer original design. They are an importer and distributor for it. The original manufacturer is ReoBrix. This ship is properly massive. The length from tip to tip is approximately 90 centimeters or just shy of 3 feet, 36 inches. And the tip of the flagpole on the main mast reaches up to 72 centimeters or about 28 inches in height. Right from the start here, I want to address what I consider to be an elephant in the room, something that I did not realize when I first purchased this, and I was informed about it by a viewer as I was building it live on Twitch. The design of this ship is heavily based upon the LEGO Imperial flagship from 2010. And I do say based upon, not simply inspired by. It is not a copy. It changes a lot of things. It is significantly larger, longer, taller. Pretty much everything objective about it is more, and it does use a bunch of newer pieces. It has more detail than the Lego set did, but it is very clearly based on that in many specific ways through and through, not just a little bit of inspiration and not just casual similarity due to the use of similar source material. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. I definitely would like to hear what viewers think about that, because again, it's not a copy, but it's definitely not original. And well, how do we deal with that morally? Well, while we think about that, let me give you some more information about the product itself. First of all, quality of the parts was just not an issue as I built this. I didn't really have any concerns with durability, fit and finish. Everything just seemed perfectly normal to me. Just the quality of the parts and everything, clutch power and stuff, just wasn't a thought as I put this together. I will point out that this does use some stickers, and I think that specifically the things that need stickers on it are unnecessary. All the gun ports, every single one, has the exact same design on it. Would have been great to get a single print to go across all of those. However, it's very easy to simply leave these off or to even ignore that those stickers are there because they really don't add that much. So not really a big deal, but I did want to point that out. Also, one design quality issue is that the windlass that pulls up the anchors on either side just doesn't have friction in it the way that it's designed. They should have swapped out a piece or two to have friction so that these would actually be able to stay fully retracted, which right now they don't. They're always going to be loose and on the ground. The sails are a slightly papery cloth material, plenty durable. Some of them were folded. I did not iron these out. I wanted you to see exactly how it would look as built straight out of the box. I think that just a little bit of easy steaming with a hand steamer or ironing them or even just pressing them for a while, maybe dampening them and then just putting them under some weight, under something heavy for a day or so would help to take some of these crinkles out. But I did, again, want to point that out, exactly how it was as built straight from the box. There are a number of different cuts of these sails, way more than I expected. I thought that there was going to be a lot more commonality in their shapes, but it was a little bit confusing to me when I built this, which sail went where. So I think they did not do a good enough job of explaining that and showing the subtle differences in shape. Some of them are a little bit obvious. You can tell the top, some of the tops are straight versus some of them have a little bit of scalloping to them. But that's just one thing that bugged me a little bit, and it wasn't the easiest as I was going through the assembly process. Obviously, I got through it. It's not that big of a deal, but it is, again, something I wanted to point out as a negative. Now, this does come apart to get you access to the interior. So we've got a split line right here. This all comes off, and this is nice and secure here. Obviously, they don't use any real rigging, any actual cordage, any lines, but I think it looks decent. At least you got the shrouds here, the suggestion of the rope ladder on the side. That's important. It would have been nice to have some kind of suggestion of a forestay here, even if it did have to be just approximated with some plastic tubing to go up a little bit, just to give you more of an idea of a connection there. And then here, this section also is able to pop up, and that takes the entire rear. Forgot to mention that the holds have a little handle there, so you can get access down through there. Can't really do a whole lot with that, but so all that comes up. But also, obviously, you've got this captain's quarters section back here. This actually has no detail on the inside and almost no accessibility. I don't even know if these are really intended to be brought down for the sake of viewing the inside. They just don't have a way to easily remove this upper deck. Obviously, you can just pull it up because, it's just brick-based stuff. But this is mostly just done for the exterior, just to have the overall shape. So there's a little bit of, I would say, cheaping out on that. Also, the deck here has almost no detail on it. You got the wheel, and that's just it. So definitely they went a little bit on, in the direction of value rather than maximum content. The next level down at the rear continues that trend. You've got no detail in that rear cabin section there, but then you have this first gun deck, which has a bunch of cannons that you actually build, interestingly. You have to put, 3 or 4 pieces of plastic together, plus metal springs. They actually give you loose metal springs, which just adds to the building experience. It's actually really, really quick to do, but these do have little spring-loaded shooters built into them, so you can pull that back and it'll fire something. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you anything to fire. So they did not give you a nice handful of 1x1 cylinder pieces to use as simulated cannonballs, which I guess is okay because this is more of a display piece than a play piece, but it would have been nice to include a little handful of 1x1 cylinders to use as cannonballs, at least just to put into the little pits there, because they got the spots to hold on to them. That would have been a good thing. And then here towards the front is the windlass that I mentioned that just needs something in it to give it some friction so that it'll hold and not just immediately drop the chain. You do actually put the ends of the chain on there, which is kind of nice. And then you've got stairways going down to the lowermost deck, which is accessible. This is a little bit odd. You have to remove 2 of the cannons here to safely take all of this apart. I found it's just these are kind of used as a tacking point between the front and rear halves of this deck. But then you take all this up, be aware that the stairs are here as well. So don't expect that to be a flat undersurface. And then all of this comes up as one also. This has 2 rear-facing cannons to shoot at pursuers. They've got some racks back there to hold on some old-style flintlock muskets, and then once again, just a whole deck of those working guns, and also some additional buckets to store the non-existent faux cannonballs in. The reference and connection to the source material for this, again, the Imperial flagship from Lego, continues all the way up to the front with these kind of fence pieces here, and even the inclusion of a rat. The only leftover pieces I had included a spare spring for one of the cannons. Their brick separator looks like a dolphin, and this is the sticker sheet. I forgot to mention that the decorations on the top of the flag are also stickers. For folks who have never seen anything from this company, the instructions design is perfectly normal to me, but the printing is small. Everything on these pages definitely, I think, needed to be blown up to be just easier for the average person's eyesight. My eyesight is very good, and I still found that it didn't feel right for the user experience. I ended up using the digital version, which had similar issues actually because of the way that the pages are laid out. It's not as easy as I would have liked to navigate through it. Also, very early on in the instructions, I had trouble distinguishing between, for example, brown and dark brown. If the 2 weren't used on the same step, I would have to go back and kind of check and recheck. Also, the dark gray color in some circumstances didn't look entirely distinct. So just the production, I think, could have been a little bit better. But I see what they did here. They were trying to keep the amount of paper down and the size of the package down as well. This just fits into the box, which is a very small box. They're trying to keep the price down for us. Again, the retail price of this is $150 US for 3,162 pieces. Here's what I meant about the box being very compact. I mean, this thing is stuffed full when you receive it. My overall impression is pretty good for especially the price for how much stuff that you get here. Quality of the bricks, again, was perfectly fine. I personally am perfectly fine with the focus on what it looks like on the outside, as opposed to filling it up with a bunch of details that I'm never going to see again. That is a choice, though. Some people prefer to have tons and tons of details and have that extended build experience to know that the stuff is there, even if you're not going to see it again in the future. My biggest holdup about this is just the fact that it is very, very, very strongly based upon the Imperial flagship from Lego from years and years ago. Now, that has been discontinued for quite some time, and a whole lot of Lego fans have been asking for exactly that to come back, and here it is, except better, bigger, and cheaper. Well, all I can say is I'm really impressed by the amount of stuff that I got here. It does have some quirks to its design. There are some things that could have been better. I think I called out pretty much everything that I wasn't happy with on this. Yeah, but it's definitely an impressive thing. I, more than anything, would just like to see more deck detail on this and a nice little handful of cannonballs, even if you're not going to use them, just to have at least the idea of them. You can spread them about a little bit, but otherwise pretty good. And it's nice to try out one of their products that they're importing, that JMBricklayer is importing and reselling, since the first product from them that I tried out was one of their own designs. But so far, seems like they're bringing in stuff that at least has decent quality. So let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.